Welcome to Core Concepts from Dent Gaming. Let's see this build. Hey everybody, welcome back to Core Concepts. I am Dent. Let's go ahead and get into this. Boom. I have got a build for you guys today. This is psychedelic, originally designed to combine pretty much every energy type of weapon there is. We have got the laser handgun right here, the 66LH for shooting, well, you guessed it, lasers. That's what the blue in the paint is for. And moving on, we basically use this for short mid-range suppression and to wither the enemy down and wither them down a little bit extra due to a special inner part that I'll get into when I get to that section. Also, on the back left, we are running the VVC 706 PM, which means plasma missile. That is the purple in the paint that we have here, representing plasma. So I got a fun little trick about that regarding the FCS, which I will explain to you guys again once I get to the inner parts of this build. But mainly used to wither the enemy down and keep them at bay and keep them dodging, keeping their energy nice and low for me to take advantage of them, which is always fun. On the left arm, we are running the Moonlight Redshift Blade. Mainly use this for its dual wave that it does, help wither them down again and really build that stagger, because it is actually really good at doing that. So the especially when you compare it to the Moonlight before it, if you run the double wave, we're at 727 for attack power and 530, whereas the Moonlight, the regular one, is at 615 and 495. Also, these are getting a boost because of the frame, but I will get into that also as well. And on the back left, I guess I could just stay in this section. We are running the Moonlight mainly for this bad puppy right here, this amazing attack power, which is also getting boosted because of a frame part, which I will get into right now. Actually, I will bust into the frame. I've basically gone over the battle strategy. You just got to make sure you absolutely use and abuse these Moonlights to make this build work and be functional. So make sure you are paying attention to their cooldowns. Anyway, like I said, let's go ahead and jump into the frame. Mind Beta Head. I use this head part. Wow, I use this head part a lot in my builds. I love this head part. Let me show you why I love this head part. If you played Armored Core for any amount of time, you'll know what makes this thing good. And it is this right here. This attitude stability is freaking wonderful. Usually when I'm selecting a head part, if I can't fit the Mind Beta on, I will also look at system recovery, and if it's anything below 100, I won't even touch it. But this one's stability is so good that I couldn't resist myself. Maybe the patch 1.07 did up a lot of the attitude stabilities, so that's definitely something you guys want to take a look at. And I did a full review on the patch notes if you guys want to check out my stream that I did. It's a little wonky at the start because I am using new software, and I wasn't familiar with it, but I really wanted to get the word out as soon as it came out. So if you were not familiar with patch 107, it is out and it is engaged, so yeah, please check out my stream and support my channel because I really love doing this for you guys. Anyway, so also the thing I love about this is it's not too heavy and its EN is very low. It's got one of the best EN loads to attitude stability ratios in the game, if not the best. I haven't really done the math on all of them, but it is freaking awesome. And it's not exactly a heavy head. It's not light, but it's not heavy. It's like I'd say upper medium, maybe medium, I don't know. Depending on how you like your steak, that's how it is. All right. F-Mira Core. Yeah, my generator is absolutely screaming at me right now. So I wanted to help it out with the F-Mira Core. I mainly picked this one for the generator output adjust at 126. That keeps me pretty well happy. Pretty well happy, yep. My generator stats here are not that bad. Supply efficiency is a little bit low. I usually tend to try to keep these at about 3,000 a piece. But we're a little extra on the capacity, and we're a little low here. But I think the 3300 compensates for the 2900. And my recharge delay, not that bad, which is fine considering this is below 100. I really wish they would make a lot more of these at like the minimum on here 100, because that keeps the stats where they should be. But to make the game a little bit more complicated, they did make them dip below 100, which is, I mean, we're looking at what, like 2% here degradation, so it's not that bad. Anyway, Basho Arms. Why this right here? Melee specialization 158. So a quick little thing that I like to do is if something is boosting Like, so we're gonna use this for an exact instance. If something is boosted, so these will actually boost both of my Moonlight Blades that I have on here, both the Redshift and the regular one. It is boosted because they are melee weapons. And a quick little math that I like to do is what I do is if it starts with a 1, then I just kind of like cover that 1 up and I'm left with 58 here, for instance. I take that and I divide it by 2. 58 divided by 2 is what, 29? 29% add-on because this is 100. Now, if this was 258, then I would just divide the whole thing by 2. So it would be 129, basically. And then that would be the booster it gets. So that's something to keep in mind. It's quick math. I'm not sure that's the exact formula you can use to do it, but for the purposes of setting up a build, it kind of gets me a quick, oh, this is where I'm going to be at-ish for my damage. Also, something that factors in is when you're actually engaging an enemy and you hit them with something, except for the coral. So coral actually bypasses all defenses. But if you say you were running the regular Moonlight and you hit them with that, it would actually subtract from their defenses. So whatever their defenses were boosting would actually take away from the damage you did, which is how the defenses work in this game. Anyway, firearm specialization is a little bit low, but I do mainly use the laser handgun on here for spraying. So if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, I don't care. The main threat on here is the Moonlight Blades that I'm running. So that is why I equipped the Basho arms. The crawler legs. Why am I using the starter legs? This is so weird. They're not good at particularly anything. But yes, they are. You need to look a little bit further down. Oh, yeah, baby. 280 best EN load in the game? Yeah. And my generator was absolutely screaming at me, so I needed to equip something with okay stats, at least to get this thing moving. So I went ahead and dropped these legs on here. There are other options. Things I've been looking into is maybe putting the Melander C3s on here, giving myself the better stats, not too much weight. But I mean, still, if you do this, this doesn't compensate for this. It compensates for this one here. You could run these. I mean, technically you could. I mean, you can run anything as long as it's functional. But I chose not to. Yeah, you do get a lot more. You get up into the 1700s for stability. You get better defense. You get a better AP. Not too much QB speed goes down. But this, I was not willing to compromise. And I don't want to take the generator out and swap it for anything. However, melee arms, the patch, they definitely added a bunch of melee specialization. So a bunch of arms. They also added in... I think they changed some of these generators around as well in 1.07. Anyway, you're gonna watch my full review, like I said. Anyway, that's the legs I chose and why I chose them, mainly the EN load. Let's go ahead and jump into the inner parts. I'm sure you guys have some questions about the weapons I'm using and why I chose these inner parts. Let's go ahead and get into the booster. Not too much here to really talk about. I chose the G2 P04s for a reason. That reason being they have a very low energy load. Like I said, I'm trying to salvage as much as this as possible. And they have a really good QB thrust and decent QBEN consumption with okay thrust. So it kept my speeds relatively good in the good, and I'm pretty lightweight chassis, so they kind of work out for this build. I have considered running the grid walkers. They got a big buff. They got like 1k extra melee thrust, which is awesome. However, this QB thrust, I can't use my QB as much. When I do use my QB, it hurts me a lot more, and it doesn't hit as potent. So that is something to definitely consider. Also, with the Moonlights, you don't really need melee thrust, honestly. Because they are a melee weapon, but they don't need to thrust. They should throw a wave. So, no big deal. No big loss there. So, I'm actually sticking with the P04s right for now. All right. The Abbott. But Dent, you're running missiles. Why is your missile lock correction trash? Because I'm running plasma missiles, and plasma missiles do AoE damage. They just have to get close. So yeah, and they're mainly a distraction. I'm trying to keep my enemy on their toes, which is why I opted not to use the vertical ones, because with a missile lock correction of 74, the vertical ones, they go a little too off target for my particular taste. Yeah, I'm running the 6-pack plasma missiles. That is why I ran this. I could run this, but again, EN load hurts me, compensated by using these. Feel free to take the share ID when I share it and make it your own. And please give me your share ID because I want to see what you guys do with these builds because it's a lot of fun for me. I love the community in that respect. Anyway, that's why I chose the FCS, is because it's good close range for these, and the missiles. Yeah, sure, they're a little bit of a nuisance, but they are AoE, like I was saying. The VE-20B. Oh yeah, this little guy spices up my laser handgun. My laser handgun. Yep. By about 25% if you do the math I was showing you guys earlier, which is nice. In testing, this thing was hitting for 225, and that was after the defenses of the target. And if you go back here and you look at it, 175. So it added 50 more damage, and that is after it went through the defenses of the enemy AC. So that's pretty good, I'd say. So like I said, I use it as a spray and pray weapon anyway, so if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, who cares? Mainly using those moonlights to really put a hurting on my opponent. Moving on to the expansion, Pulse Armor. Why? Look at these garbage stats. That's why I'm so squishy. Wow, this build is squishy. You really have to be on your toes. You really have to be paying attention. I will not be surprised if I bring this into the test facility and Freud gets me down to 30% AP. Because it just, one mistake and this thing is absolutely fried. But that's kind of what makes it fun, especially if you're going against a CPU. Would I recommend this for PvP over PvE? Definitely not. It's fun to joke around with your friends, but if you were doing anything serious like ranked, this is not the build for you. You will get eliminated and people will laugh at you, so don't do it. Anyway, now that I've gone over that, let's see what this thing can do. Come here, Freud. All right, Freud, don't be too hard on me. It's been a while since I used this guy. It's been since the last patch, okay? It's been since the last patch. Oh, I got him with that. Oh, he got me with that shit. Get out of here. Yes. Nope, nope. Oh, he's behind me. Oh. Ah, gotcha. You dirty. Nope. I am out of energy. Like I said, my generator's absolutely screaming at me, but not as bad as his is. Haha, gotcha. That's a thumbnail right there. That was a fun. Oh, he didn't get me down to 30%. Woo! Good job, Psychedelic. Alright, so we beat Freud in 41 seconds, which is fun. If you like this build, here is the share ID. I have SVDGXGJLFVP3. Please like and subscribe, support the channel. I really love putting out this content for you guys. I had a lot of fun re-reviewing all my builds for patch 107. It's a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun using this big giant robot to blow stuff up. Thank you, and goodbye.